The Property Lane.
Welcome to The Property Lane. Once again, my name is Catherine Nanteza. Thank you for your comments and suggestions. We are seeing them. Please continue sending. Today, with me, I have a very interesting set. I have guests who are going to answer most of the questions you've been sending. Some of you are asking, how do I own property if I don't have all the money with me? If I don't want a bank loan, what do I do? We will be answering some of those questions with our guests tonight. And without further ado, please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me our very first guest, Haji Bukenya from Posh Properties. Yes, Mr. Bukenya. Mr. Bukenya has very interesting products that you will be hearing. Just stay tuned. Mr. Bukenya, please tell us about yourself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Bukenya Issa. Haji Bukenya Issa from Posh Properties. We are real estate developers, mortgage brokers, and estate agents.
You're welcome, Haji Bukenya.
Thank you very much.
We would love to hear more about that. And our other guest tonight is also having very interesting products and answering all those questions above. From Rest Assured, please welcome with me Mr. Nasser, who will tell us more about Rest Assured. Mr. Nasser.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone. My name is Nasser Kaziwe, and I'm Head of Marketing, Rest Assured Property Investments. Rest Assured deals in property management. We also do buy and sell land and houses. At the same time, we do property development.
Yeah, we would love to know more about the questions mentioned above. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, it wouldn't be alternative housing finance without someone in finance. And we bring you Business Partners International. Here with us is the country manager, Mr. Chiyingi Vincent. Please tell us about Business Partners.
Thank you, Catherine, for having me.
Yeah.
Good evening, viewers. My name, as said, is Vincent Chiyingi. I work for Business Partners as a country manager. Business Partners is a risk specialist finance company specializing in advancing financing to formal SMEs. We've been in existence for over 4 decades. In Uganda, we've been around for about 7 years. We have presence in East Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, and Southern Africa. And to the topic of the day, we are delighted to be here to give you alternative financing solutions. Of course, we have great packages, and we've extended so many financing to over 500 SMEs. And I'm sure this evening our viewers will delightfully understand what we do.
Yes, back to you, Vincent. When you say SMEs, does that include friends in the real estate market, the developers?
Absolutely, absolutely. We cut across SMEs because it's a known fact that SMEs struggle to raise capital to do different ventures, either working capital, either development of properties. And we've related with our colleagues, developers, in so many ways. We've participated in purchase of property, commercial properties, and our model is such that we finance 100% of the property development.
Interesting.
So that helps them to be able to unlock the capital invested in other ventures.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. How is your model different from banks, or are you an extension of the bank?
Our model, because we work with development partners that have entrusted us because of over time we've been relating with SMEs, we try to go away from the conventional or perennial way of financing. For example, if you go to a traditional lender, they'll call for contribution if you want to buy a commercial property. Us, we look at it differently. We are able to finance the property 100%. We are able to provide long extended period for about 10 years repayment period. We're able to provide for a grace period within which, because we anticipate that the underlying project that you're undertaking will not be able to service the debt. So you're only looking at it to be able to finance. So we allow you the flexibility. So that's the difference that we come with, 100% financing so that you can own that commercial property that you want.
Listen, that's very confident and reassuring. I'll be coming back to you. Rest assured, in the line of home ownership, how would you help viewers who want to own property but don't have all the capital at once?
Well, thank you, Kathy. Well, as Rest Assured Property Investments, we have a very amazing scheme. It's one in a million. It's called the Rapid Home Scheme, which initially takes a period of around 3 to 5 years. That's how patient we can be with the client, because what we look at someone's affordability. How best can we help someone realize the dream of owning a home? Most people just have a mere dream. They're like, how I wish I could own a one-bedroom somewhere, because of that initiative of having to do with rent. People are overstretched when it comes to rent. A month elapsed and all of the time you're like, I've just paid rent and again I'm coming in another month. So that whole scenario brings about people to have a lot of issues when it comes to, let me realize a dream in my own sense. So as Rest Assured, we came up with this scheme, and where this scheme basically takes around 3 phases. The first phase is land ownership. We look at someone, because any dream of a home, you must realize you must have a piece of land somewhere. So as Rest Assured, we have different estates on almost all roads that leave the central business district. So we looked at someone's choice, preference. They're like, me, I want to live on a certain road, let's say Entebbe Road or Ginger Road or Bombo Road or Hoima Road, Michana Road, Masaka Road, whichever road that you're interested in. We have different estates along such within a radius of 30 kilometers. The reason as why we looked at 30-kilometer radius, it's because we looked at affordability.
Okay.
Because at least in a radius of 30 kilometers, if you get a plot that is worth 10 million, someone is able. Because if we, in our sense, the 10 million is paid within a duration of a year.
So, like, I can be giving you 1 million per year, per month?
Yes. And
then when do I own the property?
Now, we're looking at affordability, like you say. We look at someone's capability. As long as you're working, you gain, you have an income, steady income, we give you a payment plan for a full year for you to keep on paying or making a payment on your plot of land. So if we looked at in an arrangement that's why we made it very convenient to everyone, whereby we came up with our payment model of daily, weekly or monthly. So in case someone earns daily, we sit down and see how much you can forego.
Like I can deposit as little as 50, as 100.
As little as 50, as little as 30,000.
Oh.
30,000.
Okay.
On a daily, you can realize a dream. We give you a payment plan for a full year.
Thank you. We'll be coming back to that. Yes, Haj Bukenya. What's your model?
Dear viewers, once again, these properties, we do construction. We realize that people have a problem, a fear problem. They think construction is very, very expensive. So as a company, we start from the advisory part of it. We try to understand the client, understand the client's affordability, understand the client's income, and make them accordingly to come up with a payment plan of a property. We merge the income, we merge the dream, and merge the kind of development that should be expected, that should be expected within the certain income from the client. So in that way, we come up with, we sit down with the client, develop a plan, like an architectural design. Call it a 3-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house or a 10-bedroom house, depending on the client's dreams. So we merge that architectural designs with the income of the client, and then the dream of the client, then come up with a payment plan. How do we achieve this dream in a certain period of time? You understand? If the dream is too big, we extend it to call it 10 years, call it 5 years, call it 3 years, depending on the client's income.
Like I want to construct.
Yes, please.
I earn 1 million per month.
Yes.
But I want a
You want a 4-bedroom house.
Yes.
But depending on your income, you cannot achieve it in 1 year.
I don't have, apart from salary.
So sit down with the client, give a payment plan to a client that can make that client achieve that dream within, call it 3 years, call it 5 years. You understand? Then we develop that payment, we come up with that payment plan, we develop the project, and then we give a payment plan to the client.
Yes, dear viewers, we will be right back. Let's take a short break. And once again, I would like to tell you that we are at Fairway Hotel. If you haven't been at Fairway in the last 2-3 years, you need to be here. Things have totally changed. The food is perfect, the ambience is good. See you in a few. Welcome back to the Property Lane. It's still Catherine, your host, and we are continuing with our interesting subject on how do I own a home comfortably. But apart from the homeowners, we also have someone taking care of the developers who will help us own the homes by facilitating those that will build them. Right, Vincent?
Correct.
For those who want to do big developments, BPI here is going to tell us how, if you have land and maybe have some income to get started, you want to put up a mall, would I come to you for financing?
Correct. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
You would come to us because we support entrepreneurs. And I'll give a very graphic example because we've participated in a couple of developments. But I'll give an example of we had a client, a civil servant, who had land in Kololo. But because of the developments, he could not afford to develop that property. So he was keeping it as a vacant land. So he approached us and we did a partnership that you could call a joint venture. But in this we became partners in the sense that he brought land on board and we brought money to develop. So we put up together about 9 apartments and he was able to sell that. And end of the day, he unlocked the potential in the property. He now earns rental income out of it and he pays back BPI after selling part of the apartment. So we develop condominium apartments that are sold. So our model is such that we finance for own selling.
Okay.
You have land and that is your contribution. Then we come and partner, then we develop. Or a developer like Rest Assured can come and say we have very prime land, we don't want to subdivide it, but it's prime for commercial, multi-tenanted commercial property. Then he approaches us and says, my land, we value the land 1 billion. We look at the BOQs. If the BOQs is about, let's say 3 billion, we fund the BOQ, 3 billion, he puts up and sells. So that's how we've been able. So, but also there are, for example, businesses like supermarkets that are out there and they're tired of rent and they want to be able to own the property.
Yeah.
And then they become the anchor tenants or even sublent some of the part of the property and they start paying. So the money they would have used to go and pay rent, they use it to pay debt. So after 5-6 years, they own that property and the property has appreciated. So there is capital appreciation. So we take different angles, but I'm happy that the developers are here. We are ready to partner with them and support them to develop the estates that they are talking about.
Thank you. In fact, that is very timely because according to statistics, we have a deficit of 2.4 million houses. And the gentlemen you see here are trying to see how to bring down that number. I'm sure if BPI was to partner with more developers, then that number will drastically come down. Yes, Posh Properties. You talked of mindset change. Yes.
Your mindset is a very big problem you have in Uganda and our clients. Everything people look at owning property as a very big challenge. But normally what we do is trying to advise our clients understand their potential. Some people don't know their potential. They look at owning a property as don't something that's achievable. You understand it? But as we talk to them, as we try to understand them, we try to come up with solutions, come up with advices, and they end up understanding how and when and their potential to own a property. So mindset change is also another big problem that we work on when we meet our clients. When they talk to us, when we understand them, we end up fulfilling their dreams. We end up helping them achieve their dreams.
Okay.
That's what we do, and we are still doing it.
Okay, so in other words, I should not fear owning a house. You know, when everyone talks of owning a house, they see this huge building, they see hundreds of millions sitting there. And tonight we are getting to learn that you don't need all that. Before we wind up, you know, every topic that comes up is very interesting. You start to talk about it and you realize you need more and more time on that. If I brought to you my plan, Posh Properties, you're telling me if I bring my plan, you build, no matter how little payments I keep bringing.
Yeah, the kind of plan that we develop, the bigger the size, the higher the repayment, either the weekly or the monthly payment. You understand? So the plan has to match with the ability or the affordability of the clients, the income of the client, and then the length of the period that we give. So the bigger the plan, either the higher the repayment or the longer the period that will take to, you know, so the longer the period of the payment plan. So we figure that all together, the income of the client, the size of the project, and the period at which we shall give the client to be paying. You understand? So we sit down the client and merge everything together and come up with a proper payment plan that will make us achieve the dream that we intend to achieve.
Yes, before I go back to BPI, Haj Bukenya, how did you cross from being a broker to being a developer? I'm sure many of the brokers out there would want to hear that.
Yeah, we all have goals and they have defined goals, so it was easy for me. I mean, I've got a lot of experience, I've worked with so many developers, and I think it was so easy for me to shift from brokerage to
So
construction.
what advice would you give to someone else?
They should have dreams. They should have dreams and they should set them very well. They should have time frame and they should have good mindset. They should work on their mindset. Mindset is very, very important in every sector of life. You understand? It's the mindset that determines what we achieve in life, what we do in life, and how we learn our life.
Okay. Okay, BPI.
Sure.
What do you need for me to qualify as a developer to get that money? You
well-
talked over 100%.
Yes, 100% financing, correct. What we need is, because the assessment that we do is different from a traditional lender, we look at the entrepreneur.
Okay.
So ours entrepreneur is very key, entrepreneur risk, because you'll agree with me that if you get that wrong, somebody can come and dupe you and take money because their intention as entrepreneur, they don't have that integrity. So we need, as Aj spoke about the years that he has spent, we need to tap into the entrepreneurs that have that experience, but need to go to the next level. For example, the entrepreneur has been dealing in vacant land, selling, buying, he has sold 4 or 5 plots, and now wants to go into development, but he doesn't have the money to do the huge leap. He will come to us. We shall ride on their experience that they have been able to test the waters, but they understand also the field, and we support them.
Okay.
And we support them. It is more of the business viability that you've seen, backed by your entrepreneurial spirit and the experience as well.
So in my understanding, you fund startups as well?
We fund startups, but of course there are different levels of risk. So there's a startup that I would say he has been a broker, but he has been exposed to this sector for some time.
Okay.
He doesn't own the business by himself, but he has been a broker. So that is a startup, but he has a background. But somebody who is dreaming that I want to start this, of course we will advise them and look at what we can fund where they have experience. But if it's property, there should be a bit of experience or exposure that you've had so that we can support you.
Okay, back to Rest Assured. If I brought you my land, how long do I take to get money? I've had people complaining of developers, especially startups, who went and bought parcels of land, but they've never paid back the land owners. So just to the viewer out there who wants to sell you their land, how long do they take to get their money?
Well, thank you, Kathy. Like, okay, it depends. It depends on what arrangement we have with that landowner. So some wouldn't mind to take as much as you can. Some would love or appreciate the idea that you're trying to do something amazing on their land to help other people realize their dream of owning a home. Others would want immediate cash. So landlord must first understand in which form do you want to be part of us. Do you want to be a partner? Do you want to be just a mere buy and sell? Or do you specifically want, for you just need outright purchase? So we sit down with you, we give you our plan, you digest it, you take your time, understand the whole concept, and then before you know it, it's a win-win. So
Can I opt for shares as a landowner?
Of course, of course.
Okay.
As long as, you see, the matter is all about helping people realize the dream of owning a home in terms of affordability, in terms of cost, convenience, and efficiency, and also in their preferred choices.
Before I give each one of you a minute to close, do you give titles immediately? There's been that issue of titles, condominium titles. Should we be rest assured?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The moment a transaction is done, a title is readily available. The only thing that is limiting you of acquiring that title or that ownership is your ability to pay on time. But other than that, the titles are always and readily ready.
Unfortunately, our time is fast spent, so I will give our guests one minute to give us your closing remarks. Posh Properties.
Thank you very much once again. Assalamu alaikum once again. Dear viewers, we appreciate you for paying attention to us, and we wish that whatever we discuss here be a key to unlock your potential, a key to realize your dreams, and a key to understand or to change your mindset.
Thank you. Rest assured.
Yes, Kathy, we thank you all the viewers, and we thank you, Kathy, for this opportunity. But all I can say is, as at Rest Assured, you just download the Rappi Home app. The moment it's RAPI Homes app, when you download it, you will get all the details concerning this Rappi Home scheme, and we also welcome different stakeholders in terms of property development. So we don't limit someone's ability, and we are trying as much as possible to reduce on the housing deficit, because it is overwhelming. Every year, more 300,000 units are needed. So if you can partner all together, BPI, Posh Properties, my fellow developers, any financials, let's sit down and help solve this problem.
Okay, and to the money bags. BPI.
Yes.
First and foremost, I'm wondering why they haven't, you've told them you can give them money. No one is talking about it. But anyway, your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. At BPI, you follow a partner who has a model that has been tested for over 4 decades. We also give the developers, I'll urge them, we give interest-free bearing loans taken through our technical assistance for you to have the website, to have a development of financial management system and monitoring of your portfolios. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much. It's been a very interesting evening. And from our viewers, we are here at Fairway Hotel. Please pass by for a date or to host your conferences, meetings. We will be glad to host you. From the Property Land Show and from Catherine and all the guests, see you next time.